spend money.
No, there, you don't have to.
Okay.
Because it's public and private. So the private property.
Called over to the Winfield Plan Commission. Please stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So,
Thank you. With a roll call, please.
John Drwinski,
Present.
Mark Nelson,
Me? Nelson Butch.
Mark Nelson, Tim Clayton,
Present.
Dave Anderson,
Yep.
Joe Gacy,
Here.
Jim Haychick,
Here.
Bill Metzger,
Here.
Michael Duffy,
Here.
Adam Decker,
Here.
Nick Belair,
Here.
and Deborah Britters.
Very much.
Bellar.
No. So we have a special action here. We have the appointment of Adam D. Decker, attorney for the Plan Commission. Are there any questions, comments, or any discussion?
It's for this meeting only.
Just for this meeting?
Yes.
Okay, I'll make a motion to,
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to appoint Adam D. Decker as attorney for the Plan Commission for the meeting of March 19th, 2026.
there's a motion by Tim,
Second.
a second by Jim. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
And then in front of you, you have the minutes for February 12th, 2025. Is that correct?
2026.
That's what I thought.
2026.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from the Plan Commission meeting of February 12th, 2026.
There's a motion by Tim. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Phil. Very well. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Very well. All right, moving on to new business. We have a pretty full docket tonight. So item number one, this is a public hearing, docket PC 2026-02. Primary plat approval for Prendergast Acres, one lot subdivision. Ryan Prendergast, located at 10735 Grand Boulevard. And again, we're here for primary plat approval on this. Hello there. For everybody?
Yes.
I can do it. Okay. You got no more? Yeah.
How many do we have total?
There's actually,
I just want to make sure all the board members have them.
I think there's an extra.
we're good.
Okay.
Okay. And who is here to present on this? Step up to the podium, state your name and address, and the floor is yours.
Annie Prendergast, 10735 Grand Boulevard.
Thank you.
And where are we at with this one, Nick? Has everything been advertised, or what do we have to do here?
Everything has been advertised properly.
And just to summarize, this was basically your one tract, and then you're adding another piece of vacant property to the north just to make it one lot, so we could eliminate some of the interior easement lines and make it a clean cut piece. So
Okay.
basically, it's just a process to clean everything up, is my understanding, Mike? Yep. Okay. Any questions from the board members?
No.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. President, I'd like to approve the primary plat approval for Prendergast Acres, one lot.
Have the public hearing.
Oh, that's right.
Public hearing, okay.
Okay,
Here we go.
So at this time, I'd like to open up the public hearing. Is there anyone like to speak either for or against this petition? Going second time? They're all here for something else, huh? Going the third time? All right, I'd like to close the public hearing at this time.
And now,
All right.
Mr. President, I'd like to approve the primary plat approval for Prendergast Acres, one lot subdivision.
All right, there's a motion by Tim. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Phil. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Very well. Thank you very much for your patience and welcome aboard.
Reading is for me.
Moving on to item number 2, we'll give Mr. Clevin a chance to set up.
Yeah, we got a connection issue.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
It's okay.
The TVs are not going to work this evening. I do apologize. There's some kind of issue going on
Okay.
with the switch, with the HDMI switch.
We're good on the cameras and
We are.
in the live feed?
streaming.
Okay, great.
It's all working. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah.
Okay, moving on to item number 2. This is a new business. This is a public hearing and a recommendation to the town council, docket PC 2025-11. This is for the zone change from ag to PDR. Owner is Donald Gray. It looks like being represented by Mr. Todd Clevin for Lennar Homes of Indiana. And this is located at 5510 East 117th Avenue. So, before we move on, is the public hearing been properly advertised?
It has been.
Okay, very well. And then moving on, Todd, do you have anything you'd like to present to us tonight?
I do. Thank you, Mr. President. For the record, and those that may not know me, my name is Todd Clevin, K-L-E, V as in Victor, E-N. I am the Vice President of Land for Lennar Homes. Our offices reside at 1700 East Gulf Road, Schaumburg, Illinois, Suite 1100. I personally reside in Crown Point, Indiana, and I'm a former resident growing up as a child in Winfield, Indiana. Coincidentally grew up right across the street from the subject property that I'm presenting to you this evening. As everybody knows, this is petition number 2025-11, item number 2 on your agenda, and I would just ask that all of my comments and presentation material be submitted to the next petition, which is item number 3, 2025-12. The first one is a zone change, and the second one is a primary plat approval.
We appreciate that.
We have been in front of this board for probably double digits in months. I don't want to say it's been a year, but every bit of 10 months. And first and foremost, Nick, I just can't commend your staff enough, and the board and the council. Great to work with. You know, Dave, I think you take every phone call, no matter what time of day, get through this, and I'm pleased that we're finally here at the finish line. I don't want to get in the weeds too much. I'll just answer any questions that you have. But the short of it all is we're asking for a rezone and primary plat approval on the property that consists of 80 acres, known as the Gray Farm on 117th Avenue. We're proposing 146 home sites. They all measure 80 feet in width, if not at the right-of-way line, definitely at the building line. And they surpass 150 feet in depth. The reason the project paused was because of the architecture, as you know, so we went back to the drawing board, took several months, invested a lot of money in the new renderings. Those renderings are incorporated in the packet that was handed out to you. There are over 5 plans, and each plan does have 3 elevations. The last TAC meeting that we had, if you will, you asked us to commit to 3-car garages, and we went ahead and committed to that, so all these homes will be standard 3-car garage. And this project also brings $450,000 in road improvement contribution to the town of Winfield to contribute to 117th Avenue, the improvements as well as the roundabout. And the Gibson Street that will connect our community to the north, known as Aylesworth, all the way down to 117th Avenue, that will have a wider right-of-way of 75 feet in width, as well as a back of curb will match your thoroughfare development standards. So I do know this is a public meeting. I do know it's a long agenda. Again, I'm here to answer any questions that you may have. Thank you.
Okay, at this time, we'd like to open this to the public for open comment. Does anyone like to speak either for or against? Please, you'll have at least 3 minutes or so. Stand up to the microphone, state your name and address.
Hello, everyone. My name is Joanna Smith. I live at 11201 Elkhart Circle in the Windance subdivision, and I am our Homeowners Association president, and I have some questions that our member neighbors have asked, and there are lots of members of Lennar here, so I think maybe we might be able to get some of them answered tonight. Our first question, and I wrote them down so I could make sure I get them all. Our first question has to do with overflow. According to the Windance subdivision erosion and sediment control plan that's in place right now, the overflow for all the detention ponds empty into the adjacent farmland. There are 2 ponds at the back of Elkhart Circle and at the corner of Elkhart Circle and Fayette that would be impacted by this new build. Currently, since the Aylesworth neighborhood is still under construction, their construction socks or filters are still in place, and because of that, during the spring and summer heavy downpours, there's stormwater that drains into our wind dance storm drains. And it's natural for that to happen with the filters in place, but it does pose the potential for even more overflow situations to occur coming from those ponds. So my first question is how the proposed Heron Landing neighborhood that's being built on that farmland will impact the overflow plans already in place, and what are the Lennar and Town of Winfield's plans to mitigate this issue before it becomes a problem? Would you like me to finish all my questions at once? Okay. Secondly, traffic flow. The neighbors are already concerned about drivers and construction vehicles from Aylesworth who have been observed cutting through the wind dance neighborhood via Fayette, and they are speeding and running stop signs. So we are concerned about, we know that you can't stop the speeding and the running the stop signs, but we're concerned about traffic flow. And then for the town, emergency services. As you know, we depend upon a volunteer fire department and ambulance service for an ever-expanding area. Are there plans in place to address this? And then the last question that was posed is, with regards to the town's sewer system, is the system in place able to handle the population influx? That's it for my neighbors. I have other neighbors who are here who may have backup questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Joanna, did you sign in at the sign-in sheet there on the table, please? Thank you. John, the sign-in sheets are at the table.
Okay.
We don't have them on the podium this time.
Yeah. So, Mr. Decker, would it be appropriate to answer these questions as we go, or?
So, Mr. Chairman, it's really to the discretion of yourself as the chair of the meeting and the members of the Plan Commission whether the questions will be answered. Public hearing is typically a time for remonstrance, which allows speakers to present testimony, evidence, either for or against the proposal. So questions that are presented by remonstrators really don't fall into that category, and so it really is, I think it lies with the discretion of the chair and the members how to respond to any remonstrators that are speaking at tonight's hearing. So you may address those questions if you wish. You can do so this evening, you can do so at a future date, but that's really to the discretion of the chair.
Thank you. So it's, my recommendation is that we give Todd a chance to respond to some of these that may clear up some of the ambiguity in the room. Are we okay with that?
Agreed.
Okay, great.
Mr. President.
Thank you, Todd.
And Joanne, was it? Sorry, Joanne, I didn't get your last name. So, thank you for your concern and your questions. I'm going to take them in reverse. Traffic flow. Obviously, we're contributing to the road improvements to widen and improve 117th Avenue. We did submit traffic bullet points and traffic study items that will cross-reference with, I think, the town's traffic study that they're doing. So that has been taken into consideration. And as I mentioned earlier, this is going to connect 109th to 117th. So you no longer will have to rely on Randolph and State Street. You will have another connection in between those two homes.
Well, I think one other thing though, Todd, too, is the concern was cutting through the neighborhood, right? That was the concern? So I think the plan is at the other workshops that we've had on this is to ensure that there's no traffic construction or anything else. We're going to cut that off. And, yeah, up on, what is that street? Fayette Street and whatever the other street is, that'll be Jersey blocked off. Nobody can cut through. So aside from just the infrastructure that will be addressing just through the neighborhoods, you won't be able to get into the subdivision.
And as far as sewer?
During construction.
During construction.
Yeah. And as far as sewer, Lennar owns, we installed the region sewer lift station just east of this site in excess of $3.1 million. Ran 2 force mains, a 6-inch and a 12-inch, all the way to the sewer treatment plant. So there is plenty of capacity, and I believe your sewer treatment plant, subsequently to Aylesworth Farms being developed, there was a second phase of the sewer treatment plant, and there's capacity available for the sewer.
Yeah, we have
There's plenty.
We have plenty of capacity. We have a lot of capacity. I don't know. Do we want to? I mean, it's all out there. I mean, Nick.
We have 1.6 million gallons per day capacity.
And
probably using 40% to 50% of that right now.
yeah. So we have lots of room.
So if you just take 1.6, if you take 146, and let's just multiply it by 310 without a peaking factor, we're using 35,000 gallons per day. Which is
Yeah.
very minimal
So-
compared to that 1.6.
So yeah, so sewer's good, plenty.
As far as public services, fire and police, I'll defer to the board on that one. They are involved with the planning process. They are at the TAP meetings. Pursuant to my opening comments, as far as working so well with Winfield, there's a lot behind the scenes that the residents don't really realize what's going on. We're sitting at a conference table. It's supposed to be one time, but it's more like 10. And those members are there, and they're speaking about the radiuses, the cul-de-sac dimensions, making sure they can turn their fire trucks around. So all that does go into the planning. I apologize for not speaking to that sooner, but that it was accounted for. And then we do have our entire staff with us. I have Todd Leith, our attorney. I have Luke Fricky, he's our land entitlements planning manager. We have Andre Hitami behind me, he's our land acquisition manager. And last but not least, we have Brad Moore from Atwell Consulting, formerly known as Manhard. And he can speak to the water concern on the north side of the project in more detail. I do know that we did go over that in TAC as well as our standing weekly meetings, so if you're not familiar with it, I can speak to it a little bit, but I'm sure you can address it in more detail.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Mike Moore with Atwell, like Todd said, formerly Manhard Consulting. We're the civil engineer for the project, and our office. Stay down. How about now? Sorry about that. Can you hear me now?
We're good.
Hi, everyone. So again, my name is Mike Moore with Atwell, formerly Manhard Consulting. We reside at 333 East Butterfield Road in Lombard, Illinois. So regarding the concerns for the overflow of the Windance subdivision into ours, we're proposing to alleviate that by moving the overflow slightly to the west of our property. And then we're actually putting a storm sewer at the north property line in order to take any of those overflows that we see and then bypass them around our site. So currently everything kind of overflows and probably sits there because the existing grade's relatively flat at that north property line. So what we'll do is we'll actually put in a storm sewer that will take that water away and direct it to the Graper Ditch. Everything eventually drains to the Graper Ditch, but right now it overflows and kind of sits there at the moment. So our storm sewer at the north property line will kind of bypass that and alleviate those concerns of the overflow coming at us.
Yeah, just so it's clear, we specifically talked about that because we had some problems with the Windance overflows in the past. Manhard was the original designer of Windance, so I was able to work with Brad and Mike to develop a fix to that and take that through here, so it's improving that outfall system as part of this.
And Mr. Chairman, if I may add a little more color to that Graper Ditch comment, there's not an actual ditch that goes through the site, but it's known as Graper Ditch. It's a subsurface drain tile that the Lake County Drainage Board has jurisdiction over. We petitioned and successfully were awarded approval on the plans to take that subsurface drain tile and run it through our storm sewer management system. And actually, we're even releasing less water that would normally go in. That the same thing we did when we did Aylesworth. There was a lot of remonstration here, concern about the flooding on State Street. So Aylesworth definitely eliminated some of that flooding, and Heron Landing will do the same. We're going to hold that water back within our detention ponds and ultimately, hopefully, solve that problem that's happening on State Street.
Okay, thank you. Any other individuals like to speak for or against?
Hearing's still open, right?
Absolutely. Just, you have to sign in, state your name and sign in, please.
Mike Schreiber, Winfield, Curmudgeon. I have a couple questions, maybe somebody can answer. Who pays for the utility infrastructure in these subdivisions? The ratepayers or the developer?
The developer does.
Okay, and how much is the tap-in fee, and what's it for? There's a tap-in for every house,
Yes,
right?
it's called a system development charge in our code, and it's basically access to the treatment plant. That's what it pays for that home's portion of their use of the wastewater treatment plant.
And what is the tap-in fee?
I don't know it off the top of my head.
Yeah, I don't know. It's also for the maintenance, ongoing maintenance of the plant and whatnot.
Okay, so the developer pays for the utility infrastructure, also curbs and streets too, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and parks and everything else.
Yes.
Okay. I don't approve of this subdivision, but I don't approve of any of them, so it doesn't mean anything. Thanks.
Thank you, Mike.
Yes, Mike, could you sign in at the table right there? Thank you.
Hello, my name is Nathan Mueller. I live in Windance also at 11244 Fayette Street, so I'm just one house beyond the end of the street right now. My question is, when the neighborhood is built, they're putting lots that will back up to the pond, at least from the plat that I saw. So will they be contributing to the maintenance costs associated with the ponds that they will be able to sell as water view lots?
I would assume that'd be a different HOA, so no.
We require all stormwater to be contained within the neighborhood, so Heron Landing, for instance, if it rains at Heron Landing, all the stormwater stays in Heron Landing. Doesn't go into Windance Ponds. Is that correct, Mike?
Correct. And every lot would still be assessed the normal stormwater fee that the town collects in order for the overall maintenance of the network.
What I'm more referring to is when you back a home lot up to the ponds, because that's the way that they're currently facing off of the new street they're going to put in, those lots would be a different tier of value, and the neighbors would then have a lot that faces, back. So they now get exposure to a water view lot that has fountains in it that we're paying to maintain in Windance. So there's now a separate HOA that will be created, and they won't be helping pay for any of the maintenance, but they will get the benefits of a pond that they can actually walk up to, and they can enjoy the views at night, the water fountains, all that stuff. But they won't contribute to the electricity costs. They won't contribute to any of the upkeep on it.
I think that's just.
My presumption is
Yeah.
that is correct.
Yeah.
The town doesn't really get involved in HOA matters, really, ever.
Okay, that was my question.
There you go. How you doing? I'm Tony Setlak. I live at the end of Fayette Street. Okay, and right where they're going to go ahead and start building, I'm already getting water from Lennar already. They went ahead and the guy behind me, how they went ahead and leveled the land behind me. We're already starting to get water. That's going already in our storm drain, going to our retention pond. So the back of my yard and my neighbor over here, Cliff, there's like a berm that's set up back there. Are they gonna go ahead and work that out? So how they leveled out that land north of us, south of us, it would go straight into my yard. I'm already getting water. I'm getting standing water from how they leveled it out from the house behind us.
It's either Todd or Mike.
So, when you say Lennar is already passing water on you, are you referring to the subject property, or are you referring to community to these?
Okay, where are you at right here?
Here.
I'm right here, okay? I'm right here. Let's see. That would be right there. I'm right here. This house that you guys built, where you guys built it, it's already, I got water standing in my backyard now. So that contributes to.
Where's your house at?
Right here.
I can.
No. So it'd be, I was thinking, no, I live in Windance. Okay. So it would be this house, okay, correct?
I can probably answer this real quick if you want.
Yeah.
Right, that's
This is
why,
Windance,
you
yeah.
not touched that.
There's been
Yeah.
no work. So there's been no work.
You've got that berm that's along the south side of your.
Yeah, you
property.
guys been there like 1,000 times because I already had problems with standing water back there.
We're having them grade that out and grade that into their storm system. So that from the easement line right there, it won't be trapped up there anymore. It's going to actually be taken into the common property line between these two developments and collected in the storm system and gotten rid of.
But the existing one that's already there, is that going to tie into it also? Because like I said, in
Yeah.
the backyard, I'm
Do you want to see the picture real quick?
Yeah, because I'm already, it's already, I'm already got standing water.
This is going to be a lot easier visually. So this is your lot right there.
Yeah.
So what they're gonna do is they're gonna go up to the easement line right there, and they're gonna grade this down and take it into their storm system, so any of the water that's coming down and wrapping around the backside of your house anymore, it's just gonna go right down into.
So are they gonna knock down the 3-foot berm that I have already?
Yeah, they're gonna clean that up and grade to the property line through that easement.
And that's before anything starts, or?
That's part of their storm network. They have to do that as part of their project.
You'll actually have water taken away from your house before they ever put one house in.
Okay, but I already got, right now, currently, I have water back there.
Yeah, because of whatever was graded. They haven't been out there or done anything. So however it is today is whatever the natural land is, we'll call it, but when
There's
they
already
get
a
out there and
house.
start digging, it'll go away.
There's already a house back there with a fence. And I'm taking water, how they graded those 4 lots behind me.
Yeah, we'll make sure that.
It's all getting taken care of.
Yeah, we'll make sure it gets taken care of.
Okay, I'm gonna check that one. I'll come back and check that one. Now, what about Sundays? Them working on Sundays?
Yeah,
Because this is getting, the whole thing.
If they're working on Sundays, call us. We'll have them stop real quick.
Yeah.
All you gotta do, make a phone call.
How many times he wants to call you?
As many times as it takes.
Yep.
Every Sunday last year.
Then call us, we'll have the cops out there and they will stop.
So you
And we'll red card them, and shut them all down. We've done it once, we'll do it again.
I know it's gonna happen regardless, you know what I mean?
No, just if they.
That's how I'm
they work, if they do it.
No, I'm talking about building the land itself, the homes itself. It seems like stuff just gets pushed through here anyways. So my thing is, even if it does, it needs to be done right. Even the runoff, because we had so many problems of flooding at the end of that block. And those retention ponds, and that's our only, it eliminates the water, that's only runoff for them ponds, because all the ponds are connected in the back of us.
Yeah, and I would tell you that if that's still happening, come back here, and then that guy right there, we go drag him out there and make sure that it's taken care of.
All right. What'd you say, July? You gonna be here in July?
Breaking ground?
Yeah, no, I'm talking about your next meeting. April? Okay.
Is there anybody else that would like to speak for or against?
Yes. Yeah, I got it's 3 feet from his house all the way back here. So I'm getting all that,
We'll make sure that was no problem too. Should be able to make water.
My name is David Holm. I live on Fayette Street, 11163 is the address. My concern is traffic through the area, because while they're building the subdivision behind us, a lot of construction traffic was going down our road, some of it rather large. It shouldn't have even been on normal city roads. And the speeds that they were going through was just excessive, and there was a lot of little kids in the area. I'm older, I don't have little kids, but there's little kids that are our neighbors, we care about them. And I just want to know what you're going to do to stop this construction traffic through our area, because we heard all the excuses and all the, keep calling me, keep calling me. We were told that there was no construction traffic allowed on Fayette Street. It was supposed to be, posted at the beginning down by 109th. Then we were told, once they turn in there, where are they supposed to go? And we've heard all the excuses, but now we got another subdivision going in behind us, and it's going to start all over again. We thought we were kind of done with this, after last year, but, there's still houses
There's
going on.
going to be a Jersey block put up so they can't get through.
Excuse me?
There'll be concrete barriers at the end of the 2 streets.
Yeah.
Concrete barriers on which street?
On the other two.
On Fayette.
Fayette and.
Right at the end there.
Yeah.
At the property
Can't
line.
go into it.
They can't.
Where the property line is a dead end.
Yep.
Yeah, but that's fine, but what about the traffic that comes back and forth across at 112th? That's what we're concerned about, because these trucks come barreling down our road, and you've heard other people.
You're worried about Aylesworth, not about this one.
Excuse me?
You're worried about Aylesworth traffic and not
Well,
this one?
that's what has been coming through there. I would imagine that this is gonna tie in together with that,
Yeah.
because there'll be a cross street there at the end of Fayette
And
Street now.
during construction, this subdivision will not be connected at all. They won't be able to get in at all, other than off 117th. Now, if
The plan
Aylesworth
I saw showed at the end of Fayette Street that there's gonna be a cross street, and on the other side of that
yeah,
is
when it's,
basically.
when it's built out, that's
Right.
what'll happen. But there will be no construction traffic go through, it'll be concreted, barriered off.
Oh, that won't be connected at all during the construction.
That is
That
correct.
answers my question.
Correct, that's something that we asked right away when we saw it.
Yep, you're good.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Mike Anderson, and I live at 11270 Elkhart Circle. I have the pond behind me, and I have the pond on the side of me. And I really have enjoyed the last 4.5 years looking out into the cornfield, watching them plow. It's been great. And I was a little disappointed to hear that they were putting up a subdivision, but I understand that's life and these things happen. Some of my concerns have already been echoed, but one of them, obviously, is some of the traffic that does come from Aylesworth. And then with this adjoining street, had there been any considerations to possibly putting speed bumps for safety, slow traffic down, slow cars down that come through the community? Again, a lot of little kids, a lot of people that are bringing their families here. We see people walking all the time. We want to make sure that it's safe for everyone, not just convenient shortcuts that people take going in and out of the subdivision. My second concern is with all these beautiful homes that are going up, and I will say the pictures that I've been able to see sitting here in the front row, they look amazing. So kudos to you guys for that. But with all these homes that are going up, how are we going to make sure that all of them can go to school and be educated in the town of Winfield? What are the plans for that? I read one comment on Facebook that some of the elementary teachers said that basically busting at the seams with so many kids in the schools. Are there any plans for expansion for schools? And that's all I have for you guys. Thank you.
Thank you,
I
Mike.
appreciate all of you guys being here. I know this is a tough situation. Thank you.
Thank you.
I will say this on the school just real quick. Obviously, we're two different organizations. And, but there is a video out there that I would,
David, can you talk into the microphone a little more?
yeah, there's a video out there where the school talks about their growth and all the other pieces and about their expansion plans and everything like that. If I find it, I'll put it out there and then you can go watch it. It's actually very good. I want to say it's from 2 years ago, 1 year ago, but they were taking into consideration not just the growth here, but I mean, our growth is one thing, but Crown Points is a whole nother beast unto itself. And so I'll find it, if I put it out there, we'll put it up on put it out there somewhere and go watch it. But go look, it's on YouTube somewhere. But they go into a deep dive on the whole thing and about their growth and some other stuff. So.
And then, Mike, do you have any comments on the speed bump question, or is that something we've ever entertained or looked into?
No, we've not considered it on the public roads. The main reason why is because of plowing in the winter.
Right. I know they have removable ones and whatnot,
Right.
but maybe something we need to look into.
We had a discussion offline, actually, about some of that today, though.
Part of what's been what we've incorporated and tried to incorporate through the years is try to get more traffic calming in the sense of the design itself. Grid style developments are prone to that because people get at one end of the block and they race to the other end of the block. Putting curves in and stop signs, it's a natural confining feeling and it tries to make people go slower. But yes, that's something we can.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know if you want to let me kind of answer the question about schools or not. I'm Susan McKendry. I'm from Crown Point. My address is 128 Southeast Street, number 1202. Just a little knowledge that I have, and it'll be a quick blurb. I do know that Crown Point School Corporation just obtained a piece of property at the corner of 121st Avenue. While it's just south of there, that is the site that they are proposing to eventually build a new school, possibly in that area. So there is a school lot that is owned by them. They do own other properties in the area that are not developed. So they are planning for the future.
That's good to hear.
Okay. Also,
And they do own a parcel in Winfield, though,
Yeah,
too.
so I thought that would be helpful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm Ray Foster Bruns. I live at 5351 East 112th Avenue. I'm also in the Windance neighborhood. And I have a question about crime. Last year, we experienced quite a bit of crime from the Aylesworth neighborhood as it was getting constructed. There were people that were kind of hiding in the open homes. There were some lights on and things that were becoming kind of havens for some criminals to be able to then rob us in our neighborhoods and then hide out in those homes. I don't know if there's a way to alleviate that, close up some of those homes. I don't know. I know during the construction phase that might not be possible, but we did receive some uptick of robberies and other crimes in our neighborhood because of that.
Okay. Thank you. Todd, you want to address that? And you guys built Aylesworth.
I wish there was a way to address it, because sometimes we're plumbing our houses 3 or 4 times. I mean, they're taking all the copper and everything out. We do address it with as much as we can. If you go through our communities, you'll see the high plant lights with the blue flashing and surveillance cameras. We try to capture them, we try to catch them when we can. We're in communication with the police officers as much as, I mean, it's just the nature of the beast, I guess, but we're a victim to it as well. And we're doing the best we can over and beyond, rather than just relying on the municipality. We're putting our measures out there as well.
I can say that last year we did have the police out there several times, and they stopped them and caught people, so on and so forth with that. But also, if you see something, just feel free to dial 911. It doesn't matter how simple you think it is. The police will be out there, and they can check on it. So that is it's nothing to be afraid of. You can dial 911 for everything. You're not bothering them. They ask for it. They ask for you to, if you're any little thing, because they don't have the non-emergency number as much anymore. Everything goes through 911, so.
Hi, I'm Paul Bagala. Live on 1124 Elkhart Circle. I'm in the southwest corner of Windance. And I just wanted to bring up an address about the water problems. Ever since Lennar built their addition off of 112th and Fayette Street, we've been seeing more water back there. It's the same contractor that's proposing the addition here. It's something that needs to be addressed. Because as Mr. Setlak talked about, it's a 3-foot drop on that house behind him into the swale that's been cut and altered. So it's something you guys probably need to follow up. We've had town out there several times to look at this problem with the drainage. And it comes all the way around back in my corner.
Yeah, so Mike, one of the things to take away from the night, we've heard the drainage, look, I encourage you to come back. If it's not, come back to this, speak again. But we'll instruct Mike to be back there, take a look, and make sure it's addressed to the satisfaction that it should be.
Okay.
Because you're right, you shouldn't be back there.
Just real quick, so I know which line specifically you guys are talking about. Are you talking about the one that is behind Mr. Setlak's house, directly behind, adjacent to it?
Directly behind.
Okay.
Take a cruise out there, you'll see it. It's quite obvious off 112. Because it just comes around, that swale's messed up. I was surprised with your response in regards to the concern about snowplow with speed bumps, child safety. There are 3 special need kids that live on that Fayette Street there. And you got a contracted snowplow service that clears that Windance subdivision anyway.
I'm just
letting you know how some of us feel.
And again, Paul, we'll look into that option. I don't think it's ever come across yet.
No, we literally talked about speed bumps or speed humps.
Something, it's a problem.
If that's something that we can do, and that would definitely take a
And then the
look.
other problem was with the traffic, with the construction, because when Lennar started their original development, they were supposed to have a private construction entrance. They used Fayette Street. It was like clockwork at 5:45 every morning, stopping up their trucks, coming right down there, cruising through the stop signs. Had police patrols for a while, that tapered off. The barricades that were there on 112th, they took away after a while. So, you talked about barricading off the south end of Fayette, that's fine. Is you guys planning on Fayette being a thoroughway? All the way to 117th? I haven't seen the street layout.
It tees off.
It tees off, yeah.
It comes down one house and then goes
Okay.
side to side,
Very good.
east-west.
That's why I wanted to get on record as concerned about. All right, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Anybody else want to speak for or against the development? Wait a second time. Last chance. Okay, at this point, I'd like to close the public hearing and bring it back to the board.
Mr. President, I'll add to that last comment. Again, Lennar has not stepped foot on this property other than due diligence, storm sewer drain tile surveys, soil borings, wetland delineations. We haven't had any heavy iron out there, but I can assure you this. I'll work with our engineers if there's anything we can do the day we break ground to temporarily readdress that ditch until we actually put the storm sewer in. I don't think anybody's actually having water on their property. I'm hearing that there's water, the water that's standing is on the subject property that we're here this evening on.
Are there any questions of any board members? Nope. So my only question is, and I wasn't part of some of these TAC meetings you've talked about, is there any monetary contribution to any public safety or emergency services to the town?
$450,000 going to the town, and it's not allocated to anything. It's referenced as road improvements, but it's a $450,000 contribution to help alleviate the burden that developers like us put on small towns.
And what would be the phasing of this development?
2 phases.
Okay.
You know,
starting in the back or starting in the front? Or?
Well, we'll start in the front, and originally we committed to connect Gibson from north to south. So then the phasing will lie on either side of that. And the majority of the first phase will also be on the southern end. And the second phase would be up there by Fayette Street.
Any other question?
It'll be platted in one phase, which is a benefit to the municipality because you'll have our performance bond in a whole for the entire community, but we'll construct it in 2 phases.
Anything to add, Nick? Doug?
I'll have a couple things on the primary plat. This is just the zoning.
Okay. Any other comments on the zoning portion here? This is not the primary plat approval, this is just the zoning. So I'll entertain a motion. Anybody?
Make a motion that we, for a favorable zone change from ag to PDR.
There's a favorable motion by Dave. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Jim. Any discussion? There's a motion on the floor for a favorable recommendation, and there's a second. So at this time, we'll take a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Aye. This is just for the zone change.
Just a zone change.
So,
What was that vote total?
It was 5-1. 5-1.
Okay, thank you.
John
Motion
voted
carries.
no.
Moving on, Mr. Clefton. This will be the new business item number 3, docket PC 2025-12, the primary plat approval for Heron Landing 146 lots. All the same pertinent information.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'll wait till the conversation in the audience stops before I proceed.
Again, Deb, is the record correct for notices?
Yes, it's been properly.
Okay, thank you.
Again, for the record, my name is Todd Clevin, Vice President of Land for Lennar Homes. Our offices reside at 1700 East Gulf Road, Schaumburg, Illinois, Suite 1100. And as I mentioned on the previous petition for the rezone, this petition is for the primary plat. This is where the, excuse me.
Continue, Todd.
Thank you. This is for the primary plat. This is where the board actually votes on the engineering, the geometry, and everything that goes along with it. I just ask that all the comments, at least for myself, I'm not asking for the demonstration, but my comments be moved forward from the previous petition to this one. And I'm here to answer any questions that you may have. Thank you.
So at this time, we'll open up the public hearing for the actual primary plat. Is there anybody here that'd like to speak either for or against the actual primary plat, item number 3 on the docket?
Yes, I'm here already. We need the other one, right?
Yes.
I don't care for any subdivision being approved. Reason being is, in the long run, it costs more for citizens to live in the town. In the long run, the traffic is a hell of a lot worse. 117th and 109th. So basically, I'm against it, but I'm always against it. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Anybody else that would like to speak either for or against?
Hello again. Susan McKendry, 128 Southeast Street, number 1202. I am kind of neutral, but I wanted to say thank you to all of you. It's refreshing to watch a planning commission hold to their standards. I was here for last month's meeting with Lennar presenting this, and it was really nice to see that your 80-foot lot rule is being adhered to, and you're maintaining your lot sizes. As your neighbors to the east, everything that you guys do over here kind of affects us as well with traffic and our overcrowding in our schools too. So I appreciate that. I appreciate that you're sticking with that in this development, Todd. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
That phrase really should go to you guys.
One thing I can say on that is, since we've been here, it's hard to, almost next near impossible to stop growth. But we have maintained that if the developers are coming in here, they need to do it right. We've had developers come in here wanting to do smallest lots possible, which is how our town started. And as we continue to grow, you can see the size of the lots just keep growing and growing, just to maintain the standard of quality of living that everybody here is used to. So we're trying to make this town home, make it bigger. I've been here for now 20 going on 25 years, and I've seen it change, and I can see it change a different way, as you said, the way that our neighbors have changed. But we're attempting to do this right.
Yeah, our neighbors to the east, or west. Sorry, our neighbors to the west, what they've allowed. Anyway, moving on.
So yeah, we're trying to do this right, and we're trying to hold the developers to a standard. You know, they come in here and they understand that, okay, this is Winfield. All right, we've asked them. Todd can talk about how many times we talked about his elevations. We tell him, bring something new. We don't want to see the same thing over and over again. So they're bringing new things for us, bringing new things for people to come here and enjoy why we all moved out here. So.
All right, I'm Tom Ruby. I live at 8201 Lakeview Court. Appreciate everyone. I am not against development by any means, but I am absolutely certain it has to be done properly, timely, responsibly, in every way. And I think a lot of questions need to be answered and asked. And I think there's an opportunity to take a look at, for example, the security issue. Have we considered requiring a 24-hour security surveillance that patrols and stays in those neighborhoods? Has that been looked at? Is that an option? I also wanted to bring up the simple idea of $450,000 that's being allocated. Where does that figure come from? What does that number, who has negotiated that number, and how did we come up with that number? How is that broken down? How have we decided as a community and planned to utilize those funds? Are they just for roads? Have we just decided that they're going to be exactly what we're told that they're going to be? Is that a negotiable number? And do we have serious concerns that we would like to utilize these sort of allocated funds for the benefit of the residents here? Do we have any answers to how that number came to be? Do we have a plan for it? Anybody?
There's a negotiation process throughout everything. We've talked over different aspects of it. I believe the number was a lot lower when we started. In the previous development that they did, we asked for a dollar amount. We asked for a large dollar amount. Then that helped fund the roundabout there. Most of this and all that money that they gave went to roads. We understand the traffic here is, we need to do something, and the money goes into, mostly going into roads. Can it be allocated for other things? Yeah, but I think that the most important thing that we even have is because of traffic. We're gonna bring traffic in here. We ask the developers to take part and improve their roadsides. So any road in front of their development, they're gonna improve that, do the best, do it to our standards, not just, okay, hey, here you go, and it's the same road there. So as you see, we've made them, do a lot more improvements than just the minimum stuff. So we are definitely working on every aspect of it, looking at every aspect of where that money will go. But that money will, I can speak for myself and what we've done in the past, that money goes to improve on that site, that area. So I'm not gonna take it and go, hey, I got a pet project over by my house. I'm on the other side of town.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and that's not what it is. So
No, I
it
wasn't
goes to
referring
help,
anything like that.
help impacting everything,
Right,
yeah.
Right,
Help,
right. How do we come up with that number? Have we looked at what would be the sale price? What would be a median sale price of the homes in that neighborhood? Can we base that on square footage? Can we base a mid-level? Can we look at how many lots and
By
units
law,
there are?
yeah, by law, there's no, you can't do impact fees and things sort of like that. But what you can do is, for instance, the roundabout, it's gonna be X dollars. And then you say, all right, so you're responsible for 30%.
So we're responsible for the roundabout paid for by the money that they're allocating to us for, which was, of his own words, were to help alleviate the disruption that developers cause on small towns. So we're paying and utilizing those funds to build the roundabouts to alleviate traffic for the development that they're creating. Is that?
No, it's not how it works.
So
he's contributing, in this instance, as an example, he's contributing $450, and let's say it's the roundabout, so he's contributing 30%. So depends on what else goes in over there. There's multiple parcels up for sale, other things, so it's not fair to one developer to pay for an entirety of a roundabout in this example. Versus if there's other areas for sale, another developer comes in and buys another area to the south, they're gonna pay their third or half or whatever it is. So each project is contained within each one.
Well, there would be a number of other infrastructural improvements that the next developer could be contributing to. So they wouldn't necessarily have to pay for the roundabout. That could be paid for by the developers that are concurrently building and developing, causing the disruption and making a fortune off of the land. Is the other development, which I guess we'll get to, and they're also part of that roundabout. So now we're at 60%, and that should be close to $900,000 of allocation at this point.
Could be.
I'm curious though how we decided that 450 is a fair number.
Could be more, could be less.
I'd be curious to know how we determine that 450,000 based upon 180 units becomes a fair number.
It could also be zero. They're not, they don't have to. They don't have to give any money at all. They don't have to give us anything to do it. But it's in good faith that they're doing that for us, that they're giving that to us. So there is no law saying, I can't extort them and say, hey, I need you to give me $1 million. I can't. That's extortion. Then we're in court, and then we're spending all of your money fighting that. And I don't want to do that. I want to be fiscally responsible with that money. So I don't want to spend it fighting something because I went to Lennar and said, no, you know what, you guys are going to pay $1 million.
So,
and then that gets us all in trouble, and I'm not going to get us in trouble for, you guys put us here for a reason, so I'm not going to get in trouble for that.
So we would do this for $0?
No.
We wouldn't, but others could.
Yeah. We're not saying that we're going to
So
do
the
that.
allocated amount then is in fact
You can
required
look at,
in order for
we'll tell you what, tell you what, look at what our neighbors do to the west.
Yeah, that's what.
You can look at that, and that is a good good way to look at it.
Yeah, they don't require anything.
They don't require.
They require zero. So there's no state law that says they have to give anything.
Sure.
So.
Sure, no, that's why
But at the
it
end-
becomes a negotiation amongst the councilmen and the people that are in charge of making these decisions.
So these are not
developers.
This is the plan commission, not the town council. So different body.
Okay, so they came and said, we'll offer $450,000 to be allowed to do this. We'll pay 30% of the roundabout and all the roadways. and we decided, we said thumbs up. We
That's right.
agree with that.
Yep, we're good.
Cool, thanks.
Thank you. Anybody else? Going a second time? And a third time. Okay, I'd like to close the public hearing at this point and bring it back to the board for comments or questions. Todd, I'm gonna have the same question. I kinda had it worded a different way. So there, as far as you know, this $450,000, there's no monetary contribution to public safety or ambulance emergency services. There's nothing you guys be willing to entertain any additional amount?
You know, as you mentioned before, the amount was much lower. It's a spirit of cooperation. You know, I don't want to get in the weeds on how developments work, but as the property legally can be developed as it's currently zoned. And we're fortunate enough to come in here and get it zoned for residential. Traffic study will not one traffic engineer would say that 146 home site development is going to regulate the need for a roundabout. So we would win that battle, for sure.
Right.
So it's a spirit of cooperation. We know what the town's vision is. We want to contribute to that. I would love to come in there and pay for a $2 million roundabout. I really would. It would help us out a lot better if we could do that. I mean, that's what it would look like. This is what it would look like. With $2 million, and I know everybody thinks developers get rich. I'm still living in Crown Point. I'm on my 31st year. 30 years ago, there's a little bit more money in it. But anyway, it's a spirit of cooperation. And to your point, we don't have to do it. And you guys did a good job getting blood out of the turnip, because I did originally come in with a lot less.
Thank you. Any other questions?
I do have a couple things.
Thank you, Nick.
Sure. I just want to know just a couple things I noticed on the plat. I think the handout that you sent here is, you put out to the boards are on the park shows, on the primary plat, the park shows at the old location.
Yes, we have not updated that, but the park is now going to be an overrun. Yeah, that's why I spent enough money over here, Nick. I didn't want to put one money in it.
I'm just pointing it out, just so it's clear.
This park, that's a good point. This park right here, we decided to relocate to home sites 145 and 146. So the plat that was submitted to the public hearing is accurate. My rendering here is inaccurate. But we decided to take that detention and turn it into a amenitized detention, and that park was just a better fit. They have it over.
Yeah, because you have the park and the walking path and everything else all through there.
Yeah, the water.
Makes for much better green space. And
that'll be a wet pond.
Yeah.
That has fountains in it.
Good.
And I also want to note that any subdivision signage, anything that says Heron Landing, they need to be in their own individual easements. I think that came up at TAC, but I'm not seeing it on here, just FYI.
Okay, we'll make a note of that.
Okay, anything else, Nick? Got anything to add?
Covered it.
Mr. Duffy, anything you'd like to add, engineering-wise?
No, we have a couple of little button-up things, but nothing that's hanging up the development. It's just checking off on the final stormwater plan and whatnot. I will also say that we worked with the developer's engineer to ensure that the detention basin that is there would cover also any road improvements that the town would do, so that way we didn't have to put in any additional detention or stormwater management for the area.
The only thing I would add, John, is just to the water concern, that, let's just make sure we're taking care of that. We gave them our word that we would. Let's make sure that we do. Todd, let's make sure that we do, and that they don't that they come back and they say, yeah, you did what you said you were going to do on the water. And the other thing too is the construction traffic. I told everybody here that if they have a problem, they're going to call, and if we hear about it, we'll just red tag the whole thing, shut it all down.
I'm not a stranger to that.
Well, that's your warning.
We've done it to you before, so thank you.
All right, any other
Well, I'll
questions?
just end my rant. I know you got a long agenda, but you're always going to have problems. You can't stop them. It's how you address those problems. And I think that the staff can speak to the fact when our phone rings, just like this evening, speaking with Mr. Clayton, there's some mud on the new roundabout, and I've already been texting and emailing. We're going to address it. It's when it's ignored is when I would want my phone to ring for sure.
We'll call you.
Okay.
Not afraid to call you.
I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make the motion. to approve or make a favorable recommendation for the primary plat.
Should be approval.
This is
Approval. Sorry. For Heron Landing.
So the,
Is it subject to zoning approval?
yeah, I would say subject to
By the town
zoning.
council?
Yep, it would
So-
be, thank you, Adam.
So I will include that
Final
into my
engineering
motion.
checkoff.
Subject to zoning approval and final engineering checkoff.
Subject to zoning approval and what? Final
Engineering checkoff.
final engineering. Okay.
Yeah, there's a motion by Dave, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Joe. Any other discussion?
Good discussion.
Hearing those, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Aye. Motion carries 5-1.
Thank you very much, Dave. Just so I'm clear on that water issue, you said you'd like an answer on that. That answer is after we've begin construction or before the council meeting?
No. Just the answer, once we start building.
Gotcha.
Once you start moving dirt, make sure those guys, let's make sure the water issue is taken care of. Let's get Mike out there, let's coordinate and make sure that the water,
Absolutely.
that's taken care of.
Those are actually part of Ellsworth.
Dave, I've already.
It's actually part of Ellsworth.
I've already sent Tammy an email requesting the as-built and the original grading plan as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right.
Want them clear out?
Yeah, give them that. You don't know.
You think of the road like?
Let's go.
Where's Mike?
Are we ready?
I was just looking for Mr. Duffy.
Where'd Duffy go? How's Duffy doing?
Guys ready? Okay, moving on.
All right, let's go.
Item number 4, public hearing for and recommendation to the town council, docket PC 2025-14. This is for a zone change, ag to PDM, to be known as Gates of Winfield. Owner and is LBL Development LLC. Petitioner is Chris Salatis. This doesn't look like Chris Salatis, and the vicinity is 3611 East 121st Avenue. Thank you.
Real quick hand up here.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, yeah, we're missing one tonight.
I'm sorry. I understand.
Okay, the floor is yours.
Hello, everybody. Good evening. As you mentioned, Chris is not here tonight. My name is Steve Kill. I'm representing the developer LBL Development. We're at 14400 Lakeshore Drive in Cedar Lake. So I think as we briefly touched on in the workshop, in the study session, we are trying to approach the zone change process for the PDM in a two-stage process. And it's a little bit different than what you're typically used to. We are looking at bifurcating the process where we have a zone change and then come back sometime in the future with actual engineering and for the development. The zone change strictly, basically is just for the land use component. So we know what we can and cannot build on the site. So once we determine what can and can't be built, then we can start the engineering process and all the approvals that are required by the drainage boards, by the DNR and everybody else that, you know, typically takes quite some time. So what you see in front of you is no engineering, just the land use proposal, and then that, depending on what happens, what the town council says, then we have a year or more just in engineering alone before we would come back, even entertain a primary plat. So right off the bat, it's a little bit different, obviously, than everybody is used to, with the process being bifurcated the way it is. The proposal does ask for a number of waivers. We have responses back from the staff. I have some responses to that, but the bottom line here is, and I know I heard the comments about the lot sizes and everything like that, we are proposing that there is an industrial component to this. The property is bounded on the north by 121st, on the south by 129th, so we're looking on 121st Avenue of doing a little bit of an industrial component. Then you come all the way down and we're looking at lot sizes that vary anywhere from, you know, basically 50, 60 feet wide. And I know that's not Wood Winfield, I heard that earlier, so, but that's what the request is, basically. So the zoning request revolves around lot size, setbacks, easement sizes, things of that nature. And you'll notice that the waivers, most of them apply to a primary plat, because Winfield typically goes through the primary plat process and zoning at the same time. A lot of times, especially for a site like this where, you know, over half the site cannot be utilized, it gets to be very difficult and very expensive to engineer something like this, be told no, then have to go back and spend another $500,000 or more in engineering. So that's the whole thought process behind it and how we would like to proceed. So if you would like, I can walk you through the development real quick. Everybody has drawings of it. So that will be kind of at the discretion of the Plan Commission, how you would like me to proceed. I can go through the plan, the PUD zone change request real quick.
Please walk us through it.
So the bottom line, like I said, we're bounded by 121st on the north, 129th on the south. We are seeking a zone change. So the location, the surrounding land use, we have a 402 acres and we're located in the extreme southwest corner of the town of Winfield. Really have nobody by us. We're bounded on the west by Crown Point, by the east by unincorporated, so we're kind of way down the southwest corner of town. Access to the development at some point in the future will be from 129th Avenue, so, and then also from 121st for the industrial component. But for the residential component, the access to the site would be 129th. Everybody knows what that looks like right now. It doesn't. So that's what I mean. This could be a ways off yet.
Hold on.
I understand that, yes.
Sir, hang on.
So again, we're going through waivers from 156.045, you know, all the way down through the easement portion of your zoning ordinance through 156.262. We have all those listed out. Again, those deal with planning issues, things like that. We're concentrating more on the zoning side of it. So if you want me to walk you through it, if you look for we have special conditions in here for single family. We have 50 by 120, we have front yard setback 24 foot, lot side yard setback 10 foot between dwellings, 15 foot on corner units, rear yard 25 foot from the lot line, dwelling size minimum of 1,200 square foot, things like that. For the light manufacturing, we're taking a stab at this because we don't do light manufacturing. We kind of thought that everybody would kind of like that up there in that particular location. The lot areas are 35,000 square foot. Lot width minimums are 100 square foot. And again, since we do not build the housing like Lennar does, we don't build any houses. We simply develop the property and we would sell the lots. So Todd can come in here and show you houses they're going to build. We do not build houses. So that's why you don't have any renderings in front of you. So you know we're not building them. So anyway, I guess moving on. This will have an HOA. Obviously, everybody will have to be a member of it. They have no choice. So we are looking at doing a 60-foot right-of-way, 30-foot roadway width, back-to-back curb, 5-foot sidewalks, all in there, 60-foot radius minimum for cul-de-sacs. We are looking at doing there's one private drive, and that would be for the estate section, but that's going to be extremely difficult because that area lies within the floodway. So we would endeavor to do that, but probably not going to be much success in that. We have some requirements for the outlots, stuff like that. There is an ordinance prepared, a draft. We do have all of the drawings, the ones that are in front of you. You can look at the first one, basically gives you the lots, shows you what sizes, where they're at, things of that nature, a general layout. Again, no engineering's been done, just a general layout. We have a phasing plan. I know that was important for everybody to see. You have another one, shows where single family, where the open space is going to be. You're going to see that the site is primarily dominated by open space with a primary drainage route running diagonally from the southeast to the northwest. And that's really shown very well on the Alta survey that's included in your packet. You can see where the floodway's at, the flood zones, everything of that nature. And then there's kind of a sketchy little color drawing that kind of shows you where that's at from FEMA. So, like I said, this is not what everybody is always used to seeing. We want to bifurcate the process. We need to find out if this is something that's going to be acceptable or not. And that's what our petition is.
Thank you, Mr. Phil. Okay, at this time, I'd like to open this up for a public hearing. Does anyone like to speak either for or against the proposal as presented?
Comments?
It has been properly advertised, by the way.
Thank you for that information.
Hello again, I'm Susan McKendry, 128 Southeast Street, 1202 Crown Point. I am extremely opposed to this process that's happening with this particular lot. I'm opposed to this proposal for this zone change for several reasons. The first one that actually just came to mind, he mentioned the floodways. Has there been any environmental impact studies as to what would happen to this area? Because Crown Point is building a wastewater treatment plant on the opposite side of the ditch from this property. So that's the first thing that I thought about. The second thing is, in my personal opinion, this particular developer operates in an unscrupulous manner. They're focused on high density, which is exactly what you're looking at, and there's no thought or care for the residents that it's going to impact. They have been spending the last 2 years involving and scheming to acquire this property for these reasons. They're not going to build anything on the land. they're not gonna be involved in what you're gonna wind up as your end process or end product. They've involved our local politicians in trying to change our laws to allow them to manipulate this city against your neighboring city. You all are aware of this. I don't know if the audience is or not, but they're involved in an ongoing IURC case downstate, 2 of them, over the properties that are adjacent to this or in this area. We just still don't even know if Crown Point's gonna service them or you're gonna service them. Rick Niemeyer, Senate Bill 274 was presented this year in 2026. It never made it out of committee. One of the reasons it didn't make it out of committee is because I went down there and spoke out against it. In 2025, they involved Ed Soliday on another one. When neither one of those worked at the end of 2026 legislative session, they went down there and tried to add an amendment onto another bill to try to be able to disannex properties around the state. Because if they don't like where they bought it, they want to move it somewhere else. And it's time we tell them no. Actions like this are despicable. At this point, it's 3 strikes, you're out. LBL, you might as well do what John Lawton said he was going to do to the IURC in his testimony. If Winfield's request in this cause is granted, we will not go forward with the plans to invest there and take our investments out of this area and possibly the entire state of Indiana. The municipalities in Northwest Indiana need to stand together and show these developers that do care for the welfare of our local communities that we will work with them. But those that don't, we're not interested in doing business with them. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Susan. Anybody else?
All right, my name's Tom Ruby. Like I said, I'm resident at 8201 Lakeview Court. I've been a Winfield resident for over 30 years, and I also own property adjacent to and within the area affected by this proposal. I want to start by saying that I am supportive of thoughtful and responsible development in this community. I do understand that growth is coming, but it is absolutely important that it is done well and it is done right and in a way that will benefit everyone. My concern tonight is simply the level of detail available for a rezoning of this scale. This is an enormous plot that is attempting to rezone without any detail or anything that we can look at. From what I've seen, there's currently no primary plat, no engineering plan, and no defined infrastructure or drainage plan submitted with this request. Given the size of this project and the presence of wetlands, floodplain conditions in that area, it just seems difficult to fully evaluate the long-term impact without that level of information. All right, I'm not here to oppose the project, but I would respectfully suggest that something of this scale would benefit from much more complete and transparent plan before any zoning decision is made. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Tom.
Okay, the floor is still open. Anybody here else? Either for or against? Jared?
While you're here.
This is the reason why I came. What exactly are we voting on tonight? A deviation in procedure? Are we voting for approval with no engineering or drawings or what exactly are we voting on?
This would be a rezone. Recommendation for a rezone, favorable or not favorable. So we're just listening to this for the first time too, just like you are.
Okay. I am totally opposed to this development on a number of reasons. Chris, did you think that that email to the Times was gonna get published?
I'm not.
It's state,
Let's direct
yeah,
your questions
to the board.
The board,
Okay.
please.
Well, anyway, okay, so some LBL representative sent an email to the Times stating that Winfield and Councilman Beaver repeatedly go back on their word, does not normally elicit an actual response from us, and it's commonplace. End quote. Quote, the real question is, the citizens of Winfield should be asking how many hundreds, thousands of dollars, or millions of dollars the taxpayers of Winfield and Beaver have spent on lawyers and lobbyists in pursuit of a sanitary district over our private property that consists of 800 acres outside of Winfield. So evidently part of this 800 acres is in Winfield. Who does this person work for? Is he a resident of Winfield? I'm insulted. These people work for us. They're required to do the best they can do on these developments. How would you like to have their job going through this stuff? Here's another question this one is from Mr. Lawton himself at IURC. Quote, for reasons I discussed herein, I under no circumstances will LBL build or contribute to the cost of infrastructure that Winfield is proposing to be used to serve the disputed area in Winfield requested territory. Should the commission grant Winfield any service territory that overlaps LBL property, we would abandon our plans for development in Winfield requested territory and invest elsewhere in Indiana and or outside the state. I would say to that, don't let the door hit you in the fanny. And 129th Avenue does not belong to Winfield. Winfield does not maintain it. So I don't understand how they think they're going to have a road there unless they get the county commissioners to put a road in for them. They got the slide with the commissioners, so I guess that could happen. These industrial, this little bit of industrial, what does this little bit of industrial entail? How many square feet? How many lots? I don't understand this. So, does the town have any ordinances for industrial zoning?
Yes, we do.
You do?
Yes, we do.
Okay, I didn't know.
There is not currently any industrial zone in town at all.
No.
I didn't think there was.
That's why you're not familiar with it, because there isn't any as we
But
speak.
there are ordinances for
Yes.
industrial, okay. So, I consider his proposal very sketchy. Also, for your information, 22 years ago, next month, the town of Winfield bought a broken down treatment plant. And you can see where we're at now. Okay, so I'm opposed to this. I don't know which one of these I'm signing. I'll sign them both.
Sign them all.
There you go.
I think we got your name, Mike.
There we go.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for your
Thank
comments.
you.
Thank you.
Which one here? What happened? Somebody, oh, both of them. Oh, okay. He's going for 2 approvals?
No, he doesn't need to sign both.
This is from the last one.
Oh, okay.
I already signed that one
Oh, you did.
from before. So this is, thanks for a good job, Tom. Keep up the good work. You got an impossible job. I know.
I was gonna say, you know, for sure.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else?
Good evening, my name's Dwayne Overson. I'm the Lake County Highway Engineer, and I did submit some written comments to the commission, but I'm not here to speak for or against the subdivision or the proposal, rezone, but just to give some information on behalf of the county. It has been said 129th Avenue is a county-maintained road on the southern half of this. As it comes in from Gibson Street from the east and Gibson Street from the west and Iowa Street from the east. As it fronts the proposed subdivision, there is no road there currently. I think it was originally, the road that originally came through was Road K10, and it was granted with a width of 40 feet back in 1857, I do believe. So, at a width of 40 feet, and that's just the right-of-way width. So, the current roads that are there now that come in from Gibson Street to the dead end and from Iowa Street to the dead end are, they're old gravel roads. They were converted to chip seal over the years, and I think at best they're 16 feet wide, so that they are substandard by county standards, and I think they're substandard by town code as well. So to service a subdivision down in there, those roads could not take construction traffic right now to build a subdivision. In the low-lying area down there, there is a bridge. It's currently, I think I give you information on the bridge as well. The bridge is in poor condition. So it's got timber substructure, timber piles. It's showing signs of decay, section loss, and rotting of the timber. So, and it's splitting in certain areas as well. So any improvements that would be made for a subdivision, it would have to be upgraded to handle the subdivision that is may be coming in here. So. And I guess just a thought on behalf of the county, if this is approved and it does go through, would maybe the town would consider upgrading the roads to your standards and then maybe taking them into your inventory for future maintenance. Because right now there's not much on the county side. So, and then the bridge would have to be addressed as well, in my opinion. Because if you only have access from one side coming in from Gibson Street, and you cross over that bridge to service a subdivision, you only have one point of access. I've been in situations like that in subdivisions where you only have one point of access and you have a problem. It presents some safety issues. It can present some safety issues. So that's just my observations on behalf of the county. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you, Dwayne. Anybody else? Take your time.
Good evening. My name is Robin Mahalik. I live at 4908 East 129th. I'm the last house on that property, across the street from Mr. Ruby. I've lived in this area all my life. That is a flood zone. When we get heavy rain, it floods. It was a concern when I bought the property, if it was going to flood, and my conversation with the planning commission is that I would be allowed to build a home on that property. But if the road is expanded, it will encroach on my property and shorten my front easement even more because it's such a small, narrow lot there. So that would be my concern, is about the road and the fact that that is a flood zone. That's all I had.
Thank you.
So I am opposed.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Luis Quintana. I live at 4915 East 129th Avenue. I've only lived there 4 months, 5 months. Just moved into the neighborhood. I really like it there. I really like the neighbors so far. I love the wildlife. It's the house I ever dreamed of. If I would have known something like this was going to go in the way it's going in, I would have never bought the house. I just asked to look at it from a homeowner's point of view. If I was to come to you with a half idea of what I'm going to do, you would shut it down and tell me no. I just think there needs to be a lot more work done to the plan if they're going to go so large, so we have a rough idea of really what we're getting. I'm a commercial plumber, so I'm on job sites all the time. I know what they bring, I know how it is, I know what it does. I'm a full-blooded American. I believe you should be able to do whatever you want with your property, but at the same time, the light pollution alone is going to change the area. So I just ask if we give us some time to really analyze what it's going to do to the area, what it's going to do to wildlife, and talk about the improvements that really got to have to happen first. You know, we can't, if we change this, it's going to affect everything. You know, we really, I mean, we're talking about the amount of trees that probably still have to come out to make a property of this size go. Anyway, it's just large, and the little bit of experience I know to be scared of it. Doesn't mean it shouldn't happen over time and slowly in phases, but I just asked if you consider the homeowners that live in that area, me being on East 129th, it's in my front doorstep, really. So, thank you.
Thank you, Rose. Anybody else?
Yes, this is going to be short and sweet. I live on 121st, been there about 60-some years. I'm opposed to this because it's so sketchy and I couldn't understand everything the gentleman said. But you're talking industrial, and it wasn't specific what he meant by this. It was sort of sketchy from what I could hear. Do you want that close to the school that you have out our way? We need to concentrate on schools for our children and other things, not to keep subdivisions or people that come with us ideas. I'm totally opposed to this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Briefly.
Okay, Tom Ruby again. I just wanted to say that the comments about what can be built, we are trying to rezone so we can understand what can be built. And that's, in my understanding, the exact opposite of the way this process actually works, right? We do the engineering so we can understand what can be built, and then we create a primary plat, a well-designed primary plat, and we present that, and that tells us what will be built on what can be built. I know it's expensive, and I'm sure it costs a fortune for developers to do this on such a large scale, but that's how we proceed in a way that is reasonable and good for our community. So I know, for example, I was quoted at about $500,000 to finish the road on 129th. Just in my property, I have 1,200 linear feet of frontage road. $500,000 for that. If I wanted to change the zoning of my property, if I wanted to be a subdivision, I would have had to do that myself. So I know that 129th stretch is a lot longer than 1,200 feet, so I'd be interested to see what those numbers would actually end up looking like. That's all, guys. Thanks a lot. Thanks for your time. Appreciate it.
For your sign.
He already signed.
He actually
signed in
repeated it twice.
He was here. He already
Anyone
signed
else
it.
that'd like to speak? Or against? Going a second time? Last chance?
There we go.
Okay, at this point, I'd like to close the public hearing. Any comments? Anything bringing back to the board?
I got one. I mean, I can't paint with this wide a brush to get zoned. I just can't.
No, Jim, and I understand exactly what you're saying. Everything you just said, well, I know about the wastewater treatment plant. We know about the school. We know we have proposed an industrial. It's adjacent on the other side of the creek. Thought the community may want it. We could lose the industrial. That's not a problem. But I can just tell you that to say that zoning and subdivision are the same process, that's inherently incorrect. Typically, your zoning exists on paper. Your subdivision is when you actually want to build it. Zoning something and actually being able to build it are two different things. And I mean, there's no question about that. Just because something's zoned doesn't mean you can't, doesn't mean it'll be easy to build.
Mr. President, let me just make this short and sweet. I'd like to make a motion to deny the approval for zone change for ag to PDM.
I'll second.
That would be an unfavorable recommendation.
Unfavorable recommendation to the town
by
council.
Mr. Clayton, a second by Mr. Anderson.
I'll amend the unfavorable.
Very well.
Discussion?
I do have a statement to read here.
No, not at all.
Yes. Why we should always encourage investment throughout development, thoughtful development in our community. We have a greater responsibility to ensure that any such development is responsible, compliant, and serves the long-term interest and safety of the town. After thorough review of the petitioner's submission, it is abundantly clear that this proposal is not ready for approval. In its current form, it is incomplete, unclear, and demonstrates a concerning disregard of the town's established codes and public processes. I agree that we should deny this petition, and I will outline the specific documented reasons for this recommendation. These reasons are not based on opinion, but on the extensive list of deficiencies identified by our staff, and they fall into two major categories: critical, non-negotiable failures, and a broader pattern of attempting to circumvent established town standards. I'll start with the critical deficiencies that preclude approval. First, let's address the critical items. The absolute minimum requirements that must be met before this commission can even consider granting approval. The petitioner has failed on multiple fronts. Firstly, failure to coordinate with state and federal agencies. The petitioner is required to communicate with and obtain approvals or supporting documentations from numerous agencies, including FEMA, DNR, IDEM, Fish and Wildlife, amongst others. These agencies oversee critical issues like floodplain management, environmental impact, and natural resources. The staff note is unequivocal, quote, "As of this date of this communication, the town has not been provided with information related to these items," unquote. Approving a project without this due diligence I'm sorry, I'm kind of choked up there with all the audience there. Declaration of our duty. Moving on, missing drainage plans. The application explicitly requires drainage pattern for proper review. This is a fundamentally component of any responsible development. Yet the staff note confirms, quote, I say again, the town has not been provided with this information as required, unquote. We cannot approve a plan when we have no idea how we will manage water, a critical issue for our community and the environment. Also, ignoring agreed upon changes. The petitioner has failed to provide updated conceptual renderings that reflect changes discussed and agreed upon at the Technical Advisory Committee meeting held on September 30th, 2025. Specifically, they were to show the light industry separated from the residential areas and a single service road. Your failure to provide these updated plans shows a lack of good faith collaboration. Any of these critical failures would be grounds for denial. The fact that we have multiple is deeply concerning. However, the problems run even deeper. Moving on, patterns and overreach and disregard for town code. Beyond the critical omissions, the petitioner's submission is rife with language that attempts to override the town's authority and established standards, attempting to supersede town and state law. In the authority and definition section of your proposal, the petitioner audaciously states, quote, should a conflict arise with any ordinance or regulation of the town of Winfield, this document shall control, unquote. This is an unacceptable and unenforceable attempt to place your private development document above the public law. Our staff correctly notes that it would be inappropriate for the town to abdicate its review and approval responsibilities. undermining town oversight. The petitioner twice proposes giving a private homeowners association architectural review committee sole review and approval authority over residential elevations. The town must always retain its role in ensuring development standards are met. This language seeks to cut out public oversight out of the process entirely. Moving on. Creating confusion with contradictory definitions. The proposal introduces new definitions for maximum lot coverage and finished floor areas that differ substantially from our town code. This would create inconsistency and confusion in how standards are applied and enforced across Winfield. And finally, indeterminate zoning. The petitioner requests that the zoning shall not expire or be considered abandoned. Granting a perpetual zoning right is irresponsible. Community needs, growth patterns, and planning conditions change. A reasonable time frame for review is standard practice, and the petitioner's refusal to propose one is telling. And then moving on to the final area of the unacceptable request for blanket waivers. Perhaps most alarming is the petitioner's approach to our subdivision, building, and roadway codes. Rather than working within our standards, they've simply listed dozens of ordinances and written one word: waived. This makes it impossible to discern what is actually being requested. It is the request for a blank check, blank slate of property. Give me the highlight. Let me highlight just a few of these critical public safety safeguards and seek that they simply just say waive. So referring to ordinance 156.045, this is the construction, material, and requirements for single-family homes. Petitioner, waive that. Ordinance 156.250, requirements for traffic study and parkland dedication, waived. Ordinance 155.091, the requirements for traffic impact study and the length of dead-end streets, petitioner wants it waived. Ordinance 155.041, open space standards, put down waived. This is not a serious proposal, Mr. Kell. It's an attempt to bypass the carefully consideration regulations our town has put in place to ensure quality, safety, and public benefit. The petitioner has failed to provide critical required information. They've submitted a proposal filled with overreaching language that undermines the town's legal authority. And they have asked for dozens of blanket waivers from our public safety, construction, and planning codes without a shred of clarity of justification, as you've heard here. Approving this petition in its current state would set a dangerous precedent. It would signal that our standards are optional and that our processes can be ignored. For these specific extensively documented reasons, I strongly urge the Commission to deny the petitioner's request for a zone change. Let us send a clear message that while we are open for business, we are not open to abandoning our standards, our authority, or our responsibility to the citizens of Winfield. Thank you.
Mr. President, there's a motion and a second. So let's move to a vote.
All those in favor for an unfavorable recommendation?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Very well. Thank you very much. Motion is unfavorable recommendation to the town council.
Take a 2-minute break if we may.
If you guys don't mind. There's washrooms there.
All right, let's go.
Stick around. We'd love to have you here.
Feel free to leave.
Okay.
You wrap this up early.
Please stay.
All right, let's go.
Are we on the air?
Yeah, we're on something.
Okay, sounds good. I'm glad everybody had a chance to take a breath, especially myself. Moving on to item number 5. This is a request for a public hearing, docket PC 2026-03, zone change ag to PDR. Regional Holdings, Inc. and Altoff Homes, LLC at 11827 Gibson Street. Floor is yours.
Thank you, Plan Commission. My name is Todd Altoff with Altoff Homes. Thank you for allowing us to come back to make our request for a public hearing. We've really enjoyed this process. It started probably a couple of years ago, just a conversation. And as it's matured in the last probably over the last year. We've had just a lot of meetings, just working over a lot of detail for this new community. And it's been a great process. We really enjoyed hearing your feedback on our community, and we incorporated a lot of your concerns into it. And so we're just really excited. We think this will be a great addition to the town of Winfield, and we look forward to continuing this community and making it a success. Copperstone is an active lifestyle, multi-generational community. We have included quite a few unique amenities. We've got pickleball courts, fire pits, walking trails, park equipment, gazebos, and my favorite, the AstroTurf putting green. So really a unique place that we're creating for Winfield. With me here this evening, I have Ed Rechtenwall, our Director of Land Development, and Aaron Gardner, our Director of Architecture. They'll be here to just go over some of the updates we have. We won't be doing the full presentation. That would be when we come for the public hearing, provided you allow us to advertise for that and come back. And then before I turn the floor over to those guys, I want to talk about a couple things. We have allocated a contribution of $350,000 for the road improvements, roundabouts and whatnot. We also are including, because of the traffic study, there's a lot of improvements that we have on Gibson and 117th. We think we budgeted about $350,000 for that. There may actually be a little bit more. Ed can probably comment on that. So we've got quite a bit that we're contributing for the roads. Obviously, that is a concern, and we are concerned about that as well. I want to make sure that we've got it right. And then also, a final thing, that we are open to creating a TIF district for the property. And I want to clarify what this TIF district would be. This would be exclusively for the benefit of the residents of Winfield. There are no dollars that we will be receiving as a developer, so we will get zero from that. It's strictly for Winfield, and it actually helps to relieve some of the burden that new development can cause, right? And so this is a way for Winfield just to be able to take funds and use it for Winfield, for the residents.
For police, fire,
Police,
infrastructure,
yes, police,
all those
fire,
things.
yes, those things, those are impacts that we have, and we understand that. And this is another way that we can participate in helping out. So, so with that, what I'm going to do is turn it over to Ed, and Ed can give you some updates from here.
I got a couple of handouts, if that's all right.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Ed.
So I'll try to make it quick. So we were here towards the end of last year. We presented a land plan, concept plan that's included in the packet I just handed out. It showed a home count of 328 units across 121 acres. This plan has not changed. So when we received permission to move forward, we went and completed our engineering plans and plat based off of the concept plan that was provided to you. We submitted those plans in January of 2026. We've worked through the process with the town engineer, the town staff. We've received our first comments from DLZ on the engineering itself. We've addressed those already and resubmitted engineering plans. We participated in an TAC meeting in that same month of February. We've addressed those comments as well and resubmitted for those comments as well. So we're working our way through the process. We feel like we're in a good spot, and we would be very much prepared to hold a public hearing on both the items that are before you tonight.
And I just want to add one thing, that you've been in front of this commission multiple times, working through adding, making sure we have green space, adding to the fire, to the police, making it an active lifestyle community, making it the things that will attract folks to Winfield. So, thank you for working through the process and presenting plans and doing all the right things in the right way.
Yes.
Yeah, oh, and I must say, unique
Something new.
plans, this is something brand new that is being built, or that potentially is being built nowhere else in northwest Indiana.
Correct, and as.
For active adults mentioned.
Yeah, that's right, for active adults, Jim.
As Todd mentioned, we're trying to create a lifestyle community here in Winfield, and I think we've done our due diligence on that. We have the active amenities within the community, and we feel like it's going to be a feature here for Winfield, so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
This is just a motion for a public hearing, correct?
Just a zone change.
I'll make a motion for the public hearing.
Okay, there's a motion by Dave, is there a second? Second by Tim, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Very well. Item number 6, request for.
Real quick, when is that public hearing?
Nick?
April something.
Date? Yeah, I'm looking right now. April 9th.
April 9th.
Will that work out with the days? As we change this meeting day?
What are you saying?
Will that work out with the advertisement days?
Yeah, we should.
Well, we might need to move
Now,
it.
hang on, April 9th is early voting start, is that in this building? And they do it Thursday nights?
Yeah, Thursday's the late night, so we're gonna have to move it.
Good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, all
Well, we need to decide that right now.
Yeah.
right.
Let's take a second here. What about April 8th?
Well, we want to give them time to publish. So I might,
We'll, want to do another week, April 15th?
yeah, does that make it on a Wednesday?
That'd make it a Wednesday.
Yeah, that should work.
I'm good.
I'm good.
Yep.
I will
You
not.
good, Joe?
I will not be able to attend.
No, Joe won't be here. Tim's not
Nor
here.
will I.
So,
April
14th?
14th, that's a Tuesday.
Tim?
Days
Are you out,
No,
Joe?
I'm out of town the whole month of April.
Oh.
So Joe's just not here.
14th.
14th works?
14th, all right, works for me.
Okay. Good catch.
I will not be here
Jesus.
We don't.
on the 14th and the 15th down in Indianapolis.
You have a delegate?
I can.
Can Sean be here?
Can Sean be here? Yeah.
Is he gonna be at the same place you're at?
He will not be where I'm at.
Okay. You said Sean?
Sean it is.
That was kind of said a little.
Yeah,
There it is, April 14th.
a little puffy.
I will make sure I have a report to Nick.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, so Tuesday, April 14th, 6 o'clock.
Okay, and that motion carries. Moving on to item number 6, request for public hearing, docket PC 2026-04.
Jimmy John's.
Nope.
No?
What's that? What?
No? Jimmy John's isn't up yet?
Oh, we got one more.
We got one more.
Primary plat. Do the primary plat approval.
I mean,
Copperstone,
yeah.
348. Dave.
Sorry.
Region Holdings, Altoff Homes, 11827 Gibson Street. Primary plat approval.
Same.
Good evening, yeah, Ed Reckamore, Top Homes, same comments as the prior petition.
Make a motion to approve.
Motion by Dave,
Second.
second by
Make a
Tim.
motion to send to public hearing.
Yeah, that one.
Just my second.
There's a motion to hold the public hearing and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Very well. Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
Sorry you had to wait all day.
All good.
Well, who were the motions on that?
Dave and Tim.
Dave and Tim, thank you.
Both.
Yeah, appreciate it.
All right, moving on to docket, item number 7, docket PC 2027. Why does it say that? I'm assuming it's 2026?
2026.
2026
It's 2 on one page. All right, let's make it 2026-04, commercial development, Jimmy
Jimmy
John's.
John's.
Jimmy John.
Let's go to
All right.
Jimmy John's.
This is for 10720 Randolph, an approval for commercial development.
We'll revise the docket number for the minutes.
Oh, 5.
There's trees right now.
That's twice now.
It ain't good.
I need a semi truck to get
Is
this
it-
stuff out.
It's 20, the docket number is 2026 05.
Yeah.
5.
Good proposal there.
There you go.
Already help.
Right?
Yep.
These guys don't gotta bring anything, they load it, we load it,
Thank you.
we're good. Tablets.
Well, I mean, you see how the TVs work.
Yeah, I heard that. You see that, don't I?
Thanks for your patience. Yeah, thank you for waiting around. Typically not this long. See block going out.
Please, a little bit more.
I don't think very much. Amazing.
All I know is he's gonna save these for the next, no, for the next
Thanks.
You know, when I saw this.
Car wash. Spray car wash. Yeah, right across.
You got it, Dad.
I was thinking.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
You have the houses back here.
All right, John, let's go.
Okay, moving on.
Good evening, guys. Vic Patel with Dia Holdings, one of the franchisees of Jimmy John's. We are trying to take down the car wash existing and put a ground up single tenant Jimmy John's with the drive-through.
Okay.
We have had, I believe it is called like a pre-app meeting. I think that's what it's called.
Technical advisory?
We had the TAC meeting.
TAC meeting, sorry, yeah. And then whatever staff's recommendation was, we did not oppose to anything. We addressed everything that they had comments on. I'm just here for the approval.
Nick?
I have a couple notes. After the TAC meeting, I hadn't seen the renderings on it yet, because we were trying to zero in on the brick colors.
Oh, I had the
Oh, do you? Okay. He's gonna bring the brick samples.
Do we want an awning? Is that the other? That
So
awning?
the awning on the second entrance on the north side needs an awning. Per our code, all entrances need to have, for commercial structures, need to have canopy awning. They're doing awning, so it also needs to have an awning. And then the rooftop mechanicals on top of the walk-in cooler that's on the next page. Our ordinance requires those. It looks like they're probably condensers, but they have to be screened from view. That's my only two comments. I forwarded those to their project team a couple days ago.
And did we get a response?
Not yet. I just presumed that we would make those conditions of the approval should we need to, if you guys were interested. And considering it.
I'm good.
Okay. So this is, what are we doing here?
What are the hours of operation?
8 in the morning till 8 a.m. to 9 p.m.
8 to 9? Okay. You guys are gonna serve breakfast?
No.
No, just typical Jimmy John sandwich at 8 a.m.? All right.
I mean, I think the employees come in at 8 to prep.
Ah, okay, got it.
I think that's,
All right.
but.
Well, I think one thing is, let's make sure we have set hours. I mean, is this, are we having a public hearing? Is that what this is?
You don't need a public hearing.
Okay.
No.
All right, so I think we need, let's make sure we know what the hours are.
Okay.
I think that's number one. So I guess I would make a motion to approve on some conditions. One being is what Nick pointed out with the awning, the mechanicals, subject to engineering, everything else, but everything already submitted to the team, correct? So those have to be addressed. The other one, let's just verify the hours, not when the employees are, when we're open to public. And I'm not making the motion yet, I'm just saying I would. The other thing is the lights. Are we good on the lights?
They did a photometric, we went here.
Because the super wash now, while anybody could go there 24/7, it is dark. So I don't want the lights.
Their architectural lighting is down lighting.
Okay. Per our ordinances.
Yeah,
correct?
it was caught in the review.
Okay. All right. Then I'll just make the motion to approve based on, I'll make an official motion.
I have one question, if you don't mind, before you do. No, I was just
Free
gonna,
discussion is next after the second.
okay, well, I was just gonna ask about signage. Are we good on signage, Mike, and the square footage and the requirements?
That's a Nick.
Okay,
Yeah,
Nick?
we reviewed all the signage. Signage is fine.
And what about, I think there's something kind of buried in the code about flashing lights or attractants, and I don't know,
We don't have.
like
They-
an open
they made
sign
us-
or anything? I didn't
They
know if
made us
there's,
remove it, yeah.
okay.
Yeah, they did have something that they got pulled.
Okay, good, thank you.
I guess I'll just add real quick, John, from an improvement standpoint, this site currently doesn't have any detention or any controlled release. As part of our code, they have
Now
to bring
it
it
will.
up to the Country Meadow standards, which is a different standard than the rest of the town, but it's still going to be an improvement over the current engineering.
It'd be less impervious areas, what we're saying?
There's less impervious area, and they have to store and control release, whereas right now, the car wash doesn't do anything except send their water to the storm sewer. Based on the age of it, it goes to their pond in Country Meadows, so it goes to a detention system, but there is a controlled release being provided now on this site.
Just, and this may not be the purpose of this meeting, but is there any concern with the environmental impact from the car wash being there for decades? And chemicals and suds and all this and digging this up and, I mean, I don't know how we're gonna, you know, I'm just saying, has that been addressed? Has that been-
So we have had a phase 1 and phase 2 done on the property.
Okay, good.
And because again, the banks require us to get the phase 1s and phase 2s.
I just assumed because of the previous
Yeah,
tenant.
you have to get a test, and in there, it says before you get a loan, like, because it's a former, first impression, is it a former gas station?
Well, that's, yeah.
You know it, first impression, it's a gas station, or cleaner is the other one.
I brought it up.
And then if, and then if they do find it, and you didn't get it tested,
You have to remove the tanks and
they're done.
get the NFR letter.
Okay, good. So you're covered. That's all the questions I had.
Actually, real quick, go back to the light, Mike, take the point 3 on the sides. Is that to town code?
The photometric?
It's like one of the last pages, very last pages. Photometric, yeah.
That's the last page.
The very last.
Because I know that the zeros
On the south
on
side,
the
right?
residential.
Yeah, it's zeros on commercial to residential, commercial to commercial. It doesn't matter.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to verify.
The ordinance is very strict on commercial.
I know we have-
when it abuts residential.
Yeah. We have very strict.
That's why I
light
asked the
pollution.
light, that's why I
Yeah.
really asked the
And
light question.
then I went looking back at it again and just want to verify.
Yeah, their first iteration did have some light trespass on the duplexes, and that was resolved in the second submittal.
Perfect.
And they're putting trees up and on back there.
Yeah, there's a landscape plan.
Yeah. Yeah, the landscape plan is pretty robust.
It looks substantial on the backside there.
Yeah.
I think it'll look good between the medical, that and the police station. So I think it's an improvement.
Do you have an anticipated construction date? If approved, do you have a date you begin construction?
I mean, if like I was telling to one of the gentlemen, if we get CDs, like our guys are ready to start tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
We're just waiting on the CD. Like once we get the approval, we'll have CD set back in 4 weeks, and then as soon as we get the permit, we'll have shovel in the ground in a week.
No, it's the duration of construction.
120 days.
Wow.
So I need to go wash my car wash.
I gotta
wash my car there before.
Before he tears it all
Yeah,
down.
it's called elbow grease, Dave. No, like, listen, the problem is in the winter, I can't turn my water on, but I'll fix that problem. Anyway, sorry.
Give us your motion.
All right.
I will give the motion officially now to approve of Jimmy John's commercial development on the condition, on the condition of the items that Nick has listed out, any final engineering and any legal matters. So that's my motion.
Motion by Dave, second by Tim.
Second.
Oh,
Okay, you got
did
it?
you want to get it?
No, I don't care.
All right, Tim, your second. Any other discussion? None? Hearing none? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Very well.
Thank you.
Best of luck.
One more. Or
Two more. Okay, moving on. And that was docket, for the correction on the notes, docket 2026-05 for our corrections. 05, double whammy there.
All right.
All right, okay, Item number 8, public hearing and recommendation to the town council, consideration of plan commission resolution 20, is this correct, 2026-01?
That is correct.
Just kidding. Park impact fee reestablishment ordinance. Got that one right.
Yep, just to give some background, the town has a park impact fee. It is assessed to every residential permit that gets pulled, in new construction permit that gets pulled in town. This is the second renewal of the fee.
Very much.
State statute requires that the fee is expires after 5 years. So our fee's about to expire, so we're renewing the fee.
Thank you.
As we have, we've already renewed it once. It's time to do it again. We've renewed it twice. How long have I been here? I don't know.
You've been here that long.
I've been on that twice, so. You're right. Yeah.
First was
Is this every 5 years?
Time's fun when you're having flies.
Yeah,
That's right.
2016 and 2021?
Yes.
Well, pretty much doubles. Okay. Go right ahead.
This is Todd Giershami. He is our consultant for this project.
Todd.
Good evening, Mr. President and member of the commission. It is a pleasure to be here. As Nick just said, this is the third time I have been here. And it has been a pleasurable experience. And I think as I go through this briefing that you have, you will notice that this is one of those programs that actually good comes out of it. And we heard earlier how the developments are not paying their way, and this is, I think, a proof of some of your good work that you're doing. The impact fee is a 5-year process. It is authorized by the state law, and it allows municipalities to impose a fee that is equivalent to or a fair proportion of the cost of one park service unit, and I apologize for these terms, and that we have to calculate. And so the developers, the new homeowners, through their developers, will pay for their fair share of the cost of those services that the town provides. The town has already invested significant amount of money and dollars and efforts in providing park and recreational services. It is, the concept is that it is just fair for the newcomers that come to the town, because they will be using these services, to pay their fair share. And in that process, we go through a series of calculations to come up what is that cost of that fair share is. Impact fee is basically an assessment of and determination of that cost. In a sort of simplest form, and Mr. President, if you don't mind, I have this handout and I'm going to go through item by item if we have time. Is that okay?
Sure.
Everybody? Okay.
What's the first step?
We, in the simplest form, what we are doing here is we determine the value of total assets, parks and recreational assets, and divide that to the total number of households that the town has. And there is several processes that we have to go through to determine those and calculate those figures. As Nick said, this is the third time that we are going through this process. You started the process in 2016, that is the first impact fee, and in that time you had the fee determined on that time was for $585, and then 5 years ago in 2021 that fee went up to $946, and today we have calculated, if it is approved by the town council, and as it has been recommended by the advisory committee, a proposed fee of $1,873. So that is the process. State law, I'm on number 4, state law does require, as I mentioned, a a lengthy process of calculation and assessment. And one of the major requirements of the state law is that the fee has to be proportional and reasonable to what is actually assessed and or what is the cost is. In other words, the municipalities cannot go and have an arbitrary charge, and it has to be calculated, it has to be proportional to the what is being provided to the current residents. In other words, the level of service has to stay there. And the study is for a 5-year process. It is effective for 6 months after it has been approved by the council, and it stays in effect for 5 years unless you decide not to pursue it. The state law also requires an advisory committee, establishment of advisory committee. The town council in last September, appointed a 5-member advisory committee. These advisory committee members are professional in the field of real estate development, accounting, finance. So they are very much contributing through that process as we go through the assessment process. And we had a superb advisory committee and committed, made us a little bit work harder to explain, but we always enjoy it to listen to them and to discuss it. And in fact, they met, we normally meet 3 times. They were very much interested that they agreed to meet the 4th time to discuss the final fee and how the impact of that fee is. There are several factors the advisory committee considered, ranging from what other communities are paying, what is the fair amount, what options the town has, as well as economic aspects of the fee. And so we go through this process of analyzing population and housing, and what we have found out that you're aware of it, the town's population continues to grow, and it's approximately about 300 individuals every year are added to the town, and we projected for the future 10 years, next 10 years, based on those calculations of that we have estimated. And then we also look at the housing change. Again, we have looked at what the trend has been, and that trend has been somewhere around 100, 120 units of new housing. Although you've had, last couple of years, you've had much, much higher, and we anticipate that this would be even higher. But that is how the assessment works. In determining the Park Service unit, we use the population, we use the households, and the type of housing that is being built, and we determine the number of service units, park service units. And that is, again, there are a couple of tables that shows what those park service units are. The last one as of December of last year, that was the end of our process, was 2,661 park service unit we have calculated. And then we look at what are the assets. And so we know on one side of the sort of equation, we were looking for the park service unit. That was determined. And the asset side, we inventory all of the park's assets. And we have counted everything that you have above $500. And then we count those. And also we count the amount of land, parkland, and assess the value of that parkland. I do want to congratulate you as members of this commission, and also those of you that are council. Since we did the last one, I can tell you that you have more than doubled your park assets. as of December of last year, and that credit goes to you. And the last round, we had about 2.6 million, and today we have about 4.8 million in your total park assets. These include not only the land, but also all of the improvements that you have made in the park system, whether it is playground, whether it is new other amenities and facilities in the parks. So we basically divide these two numbers and come up with a cost per service units. And the cost per service unit is somewhere around $1,800. And that is the cost of, the way you can look at it is the cost of a one park service unit, one household. That is how much it's going to cost the town to provide park services to this household. And that's what the calculation shows. So the advisory committee looked at a variety of types of assessment in terms of how do we want to charge. There are different ways. It could be, especially since the assessment is almost double what you currently assess. And how do you want to charge it? There are different methodology that is used, and the advisory committee, as I mentioned, they took an additional meeting and to discuss it, to fully understand that process, and they determined that they want to use a single-family home, which is, as of now, 99% of the homes that are being built in the town are single-family home. They felt that that would be a fair consideration for assessment. So their recommendation is for a single-family home rate, calculated rate, to be the going for the next round. And we also provide, and you will see in the last table, we have provided a comparables or comparison table from different communities that do have impact fee, parks impact fee. And that was one of the considerations by the advisory committee. Are we hitting ourselves? Are we becoming non-competitive? And when you look at your surrounding communities, they felt that is not, they're not putting Winfield in a non-competitive position. And the list that you have, you can see it is in Indiana. The range could be from $5,000 in Carmel to like $1,200 in Maryville. And so they felt that again, that rate is a fair rate, and they are proposing to do that. What you are doing is approving a resolution to the council, and that resolution, the reason you are providing it is the impact fee is considered a land use issue, and then that's where the Plan Commission comes in to make that resolution and to recommend and approve a certification to the council for approval of the ordinance. I'll be happy to answer any questions if you have.
Well, it is a public hearing, so we can ask questions after the public hearing. So has this been advertised in the paper properly? Okay, sounds good. So I'd like to open up the public hearing at this point. Anyone like to speak for the proposed resolution or against it? Going a second time? Third time? Okay, we'll close the public hearing at this point. Bring it back to the board for any questions or comments, Tagi. The only question I had, just to clarify, the fee, is it per structure or per housing unit? Meaning a duplex
Per
is...
housing unit.
Okay, so a duplex would be
Per dwelling
double.
unit.
Okay, just want to make sure. Thank you. Okay. That's all I had. Anybody else have any questions? Nope. I'll entertain a favorable recommendation to the town council. Anybody?
So moved.
My second. Motion by Tim, second by Dave. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Very well. Thank you.
Can you approve the resolution in title only? Your packet.
I will.
Who's got it?
It's right here, hold on. It's the other one.
Should be in your packet that was prepared.
Where's that?
Okay.
Towards the back.
I would like to.
It's Plan Commission Resolution 2025-01.
Yep.
2025, this is 2026.
It's
Just 25 of them.
This is 26 on the minutes, or the agenda.
2026-01.
I would like to make a favor.
That was on me. I apologize.
I'd like to make a favorable recommendation to the town council for resolution number 2026-01, title only, a resolution recommending a reestablishment ordinance for a town park impact fee, approving a modified park impact fee for the town of Winfield, Lake County, Indiana, recommending adoption and enactment of such reestablishment ordinance by the Winfield Town Council in conformance with applicable law and all other matters related thereto.
Motion by Tim,
Oh, I'll second.
second by Dave.
Sure, I was waiting. There's other people.
Second by Dave. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Nope. Very good. All right, item number 9, consideration.
I want to commend Tagi on his work on this. It went a little longer than I think he was wanting it to. He stuck with us. Thank you,
Thank
Tagi.
you. Thank you.
That was
Thank
that.
you. Thank you for all of your assistance.
Thank you. We appreciate your help.
And thank the commission that took the time for the different meetings out of their busy schedules.
So what is item 9, Nick?
That's what I'm trying to figure out there.
Okay.
Let's move on to item number 9, consideration of approval for declaratory, can't say, resolution, plan commission, resolution number 2026-02, question mark?
Exclamation point.
Oh my gosh, don't do this to me.
I say we defer.
We can't. We're not deferring that.
I don't know.
This one's correct. This one's right.
Okay. What do you got, Nick?
What is it?
All right.
Thank you, Tagi. If we didn't say it, thank you for all your work.
This resolution approves a declaratory resolution adopted by the Redevelopment Commission on February 24th to designate a new economic development area in the town.
Okay.
Got it.
All right, I'm going to read. Known as the 117th Avenue Economic Development Area, the declaratory resolution also adds the Sapper property to the Redevelopment Commission's acquisition list, which will allow the Redevelopment Commission to purchase the Sapper property. In short, the creation of this economic development area is required under the redevelopment statute to allow the Redevelopment Commission to purchase the property. Under the redevelopment statute, the Plan Commission must approve the creation of an economic development area. If the Plan Commission approves tonight, it would then go to the Town Council for approval next week, and then back to the Redevelopment Commission for a public hearing and final approval in April.
I will make a motion that we approve the declaratory resolution, Plan Commission resolution number 2026-02.
Did he read it?
It's in title only.
Where's 02? Right there, I got it. A resolution to the town of Winfield, Plan Commission approving a resolution of the Winfield Redevelopment Commission declaring an area in the town of Winfield, Lake County as an economic development area to be known as the 117th Avenue Economic Develop Area, approving an economic development plan for said area and all matters related thereto. That'd be a drinking game with the number of
There's
economic
a
words in
motion by
there.
Mr. Anderson.
Second.
Second by Mr. Clayton. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries, no nays. All right.
To adjourn.
We almost got there. I'll start with Deb. Anything to add tonight?
No,
Good?
actually.
No,
I got a lot of typos to fix.
Yeah.
Okay, Nick?
Not mine, not mine. It's all overhead.
I'll override.
I understand. I like the team effort.
I like how Nick mumbled that right there. Whose fault was it, Nick? I'm sorry. What? Yeah.
Okay. Mike, anything to add?
There's a lot going on.
I'll add it to my list of proofreading the agendas from now on.
Thank you.
What?
Adam, thank you.
He won't say
Adam, thank you very much, Adam.
Thank you, Adam.
Thank you, Adam.
After this display tonight, would you ever come back?
Would.
Okay.
Okay.
It was like, it's a good time.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to adjourn, thank you.
Second. All right. Thank you, guys.